So to do rational equations, we basically are dealing with fractions and we need to get common denominators. We need to look at the lowest common denominator. So how it works, we have different denominators on the left side. And if we have 1/2 plus 3/4 equals 5/4. Now the thing is, if we only look at the top, we get 1 plus 3. And we notice right away it does not equal 5. So the denominators are important in this one. If we look on the right side, we have common denominators. Everything has 10x on the bottom. Now, if we only look at the numerators, 3 plus 6 equals 9. So there's the trick. If we have common denominators, we can focus on the tops. The top is a valid equation, and I'll show you how it works. So here's one equation. X over 3 minus x over 4 equals 2. So we need to find the lowest common denominator. So we list the multiples of 3 and 4. And we find 12 is the lowest one. So we need to get everything to 12. So the first fraction we multiply by 4, top and bottom. The second one times 3, top and bottom. And the third one has an invisible 1 on the bottom. We multiply by 12. So we end up with this. Common denominators, and you look at the top, we can focus on that. 4x minus 3x equals 24. If all the denominators are equal, if there's an equal sign, we can just focus on the numerators. Now 4x minus 3x is x, and now we have our answer. There's another way that you can do this. And this one is just finding the lowest common denominator, but not actually making the denominators equal. So in this case, on the right-hand side, I've got multiply by 12. And I do that to every term, the left and the right. What that ends up with is this. 12x over 3 minus 12x over 4. Now, we don't have common denominators, but we can simplify. 12 divided by 3 is 4x. 12 divided by 4 is 3x. We get the same result. So it doesn't matter if you multiply all the terms by the lowest common denominator, or if you create common denominators, you end up with the same result. So let's try this one. I can see right away I've got two denominators with an x. This one has nothing and a 5. So my common denominator, or lowest common denominator, will be 5x. So I need to get that in all three places. So this one, I need to multiply by 5x. So it's an invisible 1 times that. This one times 5x. This one needs nothing, and this one needs a 5. So this way, common denominators. Now, a shortcut, I know that I can get rid of them. This equation, this only works when there's an equal sign and everything has a common denominator. What I'm actually doing is multiplying all of them by 5x. And it cancels. 5x cancels. So I'm getting rid of the denominators and I'm left with the numerators. From here, it's just algebra. I'm going to subtract 6 and divide by 5. And that's what I'm doing. Get common denominators. It only works if there's an equal sign. And then get rid of the denominators. Once there, we've got an algebra problem. Use algebra to solve for the answer. This one's a little harder because we have an x squared in there. It's a lot more complicated. But starting is the same. I've got 3x next. My LCD will be 3x. This one already has a 3x, so I don't need anything. This one needs a 3. And this one over here needs both a 3 and the x. So invisible 1 on bottom. Careful with the brackets. I'm going to multiply both by 3. Common denominators. So I'm going to get rid of all 3 by multiplying by 3x. So in this case, I've got an x squared in my equation. I'm going to put everything onto one side and then factor it. I need an equal 0. So x squared. So I'm going to move this one over so it becomes negative 3x. And these two cancel. 3x minus 5x. And then minus 24, I'm going to add 18 to both sides. So again, I put it all together. I have a trinomial and I'm going to factor it. And there's my two answers. Anytime I have an x squared, I will usually get two answers. I'm going to flip them. And in case you don't remember, each one could equal 0. So x minus 6 equals 0. I'm going to move the 6. And for this one, x plus 1. So that's where I got my two answers from. Do not take these numbers, always flip them and get your answers. Okay, I want you to pause the video, see how far you can get on this one on your own. Find the lowest common denominator, then get rid of the denominators, then solve the problem. Okay, so 2, 6, and 12. Right away I see that 2 and 6 both go into 12. So I'm going to multiply by 6. This one multiply by 2. And this one is missing a b. These other two have b squared. So I am going to common denominators, I'm going to get rid of them. I'm multiplying every term by 12b squared, and they cancel. 30 plus 2, and I get my answer.